And Nick King from 3TV CBS 5. What were the days or weeks after the finals like for you, just emotion-wise?
Interesting. On one hand, there's a lot of gratitude for the people in our building, gratitude for my teammates, gratitude for coaches, gratitude for a group of guys that, was able to accomplish something that we did. But on the other hand, there was that pain on figuring out what we could have done different. Tons of conversations, watching the games over and over again, trying to figure out what we could have done differently. And the thing that is also really hard about it is we really came close, up 2-0, games 4 and 5 were really close. Game 6 was even pretty close, but those two in particular, a couple shots go out for them, a couple go in for us, maybe even one each, whole different ball game, right? So you learn how crucial every possession is. You learn how perfect you have to be end of game, execution wise, and take those lessons and apply them to the next season. But the fact of the matter is we have a quick turnaround. So it's a quick mindset flip, and thinking about that, and then turning around and getting ready for training camp tomorrow. It feels like we just walked off that court to some extent. We walk in this building, it feels like this could have been the day we walked in for a game 7. It feels like it's that close. But reality is we have a whole new season starting from the beginning. And now that we've been to the finals, we know that it takes a lot. So it's going to be, a big time effort from now until, however long this thing takes us.
Those conversations you're talking about, was that with other guys on the team?
Oh, tons of them with other guys on the team, figuring out what we could have done differently. And the crazy thing is there's no agreement. There is no consistent agreement in terms of what we could, because there's a lot of ways. It's not like there's a black and white thing. We did this blatantly wrong. There's just, a lot of gray area of adjustments we could have made or things we could have done slightly differently. And, when you're playing against guys like Giannis that are special talent, it takes a lot to slow them down.
How good does it feel though to run it back? That's the team is almost exactly the same. So how good does it feel to run it back with the same group of guys?
Yeah, so that's the flip side. Some of us are young, and as I've gotten older in this league, our team has also gotten a lot older. And I feel like we have a veteran team, a team that's built to get back to where we got to. When I first got here, it was a young team, and we were rebuilding, trying to figure it all out. Coming off of a final trip, the mindset is different going into camp. So that's the exciting part, is that this is my 3rd season, and this is what we've been able to accomplish so far. And, the sky's the limit for us. And the energy around our building is great. The energy on our court is great. And we got guys that are selfless guys. And that's the reason why we got to the point we got to. And it's really exciting, being a part of something bigger than myself, being a part of a team that is just fun to show up to work for every day.
You might have already been asked this, but the dunk in the final, now on t-shirts, now you should get part of, for scholarships and all of that sort. Did that blow up in a way that you could even foresee it? Like I know in the moment you're not thinking what it's going to end up being, but did that blow up even larger than what you thought?
Yeah, definitely. In the moment, I didn't fully comprehend what was going on just because the games are so hectic. We're down 12 or so, trying to fight back in an important finals game. I'm not thinking about, the ramifications of a certain play. I didn't even really know how it looked. All I know is that I dunked the ball and I was praying that the ref would call a block. So it probably took, it wasn't much longer. I mean, I got home that night and turned on the television, and I saw it within 2 minutes, the replay, and obviously my phone was blowing up. So then, at that point I realized, okay, this might have been something that'll stick with me for a little bit. But beyond that, I mean, it was all just an effort to get back into the game at that point, which we did. We closed the gap a little bit, but just swinging that momentum and trying to get a run going. Because like I just said a couple minutes ago, everything counts in the finals, and no lead is safe. We were up 15 at home in game 5, and they were up 15 at home in game 6, and both of those leads just gone. Gap was closed. So in that moment, I'm not thinking about any of that.
Quick follow-up, it's confirmed, you're fully vaccinated.
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
Cam, Mark Peralta, Spanish Suns Radio. Psalm 23. Tell me about it. Like, how much does it influence your play, man?
It comes from my grandma. My grandma, she is a prayer warrior to the fullest extent. And she kind of told my dad to use this Bible verse as a prayer every time you go into a game, into a competition, into an important meeting, whatever it may be. And he instilled that down into me. So Psalm 23 has been a verse that I have always said before every game. And then I say it now during the national anthems. I've said it during the national anthems since high school. But it's the reason I wear 23. I was also a huge Jordan fan growing up. So 23 is a huge number of significance to me. And playing at Carolina, I couldn't wear it. So when I got to the league, for some reason, somebody had it, they said. But I was wondering, maybe is it time to change it up? I had been away from the number for 2 years at that point. But there is no number that has the tie to me as 23 does because of Psalm 23 and because of my middle name is Jordan, and I watched Jordan videos growing up like none other, and so obviously I had to go back to it.
Quick follow-up on this next too, like your post-grad. Are you going with your master's? You're going for your PhD eventually?
I don't think I could do a PhD because I don't want to write a dissertation, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. But even the thesis is like, oh my gosh, I gotta just keep writing and writing and writing. But it's coming along. I talked to my thesis advisor when I was back in Chapel Hill. I just kidding. So here's the thing about getting back into it. Everybody says when you're doing your master's thesis to finish it, to just buckle down and finish it. Buckling down and finishing it that time was conference play, the conference tournament, the NCAA tournament, and then the NBA draft. So obviously I'm thinking, okay, maybe I got something that's pretty important that could change the trajectory of my life if I lock into my basketball right now. And everybody's like, it's super hard to get into again, once you get away from it, which is extremely true. And the further you get away from it, the harder it is to get back into it. So I spent hours trying to get back into it at certain points, but all those hours have accumulated to is just figuring out what I was talking about and what I was doing when I stopped. And I've been doing it on graduate transfers and NCAA men's Division I basketball. So it's all just analyzing transfer rules and how they apply in college sports. That was 2018 that I started it. And everything's changed. So I looked at my thesis advisor like, so all my research, right? It's dated. So I'm going to have to go back and amend some things and just kind of put some notes in it. Okay, this part was written, but that's the beauty of it. So beyond the thesis, the thing that I was trying to look into was how beneficial are the rules? Undergrads not having to sit out and what kind of environment does it create? How do postgrads kind of use their immediate eligibility? And for the rules to be changing now, I think the realization obviously came about that maybe the rules are not completely beneficial to the players. So I'll have to amend some things, but it's good because every step the NCAA is taking right now is in a positive direction. And I think there will be tons more. So my master's degree would be in sports administration, and all we talk about is college athletics. So all the discussions we had, and seeing the current state of college athletics, I think we're headed in a positive direction.
Question for Dan. Finish target date,
I have a firm end date that, I have to finish it by. I think I have to finish it within 5 years of starting the program, which is coming up now, which is ridiculous. So that's good. A firm deadline for me. You put me up against my back against the wall, I'll be up all night just typing that paper, just naturally just on that grind. But I'm a finisher for sure. And my grandma, my mother, all the time, I try to do something and they're like, did you finish your thesis yet? Like, it's my homework, I can't go outside and play without finishing my homework. So I'll definitely finish it. The one thing that I've said is that the toughest thing, and I'm gonna be honest, is that, it's not as much of an immediate gratification. It's not like I take the degree and put it to use immediately. It's more of like, for the time being, like, good job, you finished, so I'm definitely planning on finishing it. And it's something that I really want to have. It's just that push and that kick in the butt saying, finish this or you can't get a job, or finish this, or, we're all humans at the end of the day. Things motivate us to do things. That's how we get things done, motivation. And so I'm digging deep for that motivation for this one.